typical morning at 73, and a question that quietly unsettles the heart. Mr. Gerald has always been an early riser. Every day at 6 a.m., he stands by the kitchen window, a steaming cup of black tea in hand, eyes resting on the old oak trees outside. Before his wife, Rose, passed away, this was the time they sat together, hands gently touching, sharing the calm breath of morning. Now, there's only an empty chair beside him, and a question he had never dared to ask. How many years do I have left? It didn't come like a blaring alarm, nor did any dire diagnosis trigger it. It came quietly, from the moment he bent down to tie his shoes and felt dizzy. From the day he climbed the stairs, he had to stop halfway. From a sleepless night for no apparent reason, followed by a morning when he forgot the name of his newborn grandchild. Turning 70 isn't the end of the road, but it does feel like a fork in a long journey, where signs begin to appear. Subtle but undeniable. Signs about health, clarity of mind, and the remaining time. And perhaps the scariest part isn't that death is approaching. It's not knowing when it will come, how it will come, and whether we can do anything to hold it off just a little longer. In recent years, modern science has uncovered a range of indicators that can fairly accurately predict how many years someone over 70 might have left, based on the most ordinary behaviors, reflexes, and patterns: walking speed, grip strength, sleep quality, balance, even how much you enjoy your meals. These signs don't shout. They don't arrive like a heart attack or send you rushing to the emergency room. They creep in quietly, gently, like they no longer look forward to breakfast or do not feel like calling an old friend anymore. And Mr. Gerald, the man who once believed he was still doing fine, has begun to realize he's been losing small pieces of himself without even knowing it. Gerald is not alone. In another city, 75-year-old Mrs. Irene, once a beloved literature teacher, now keeps a lamp on all night because of chronic insomnia. She still remembers lines of Emily Dickinson's poetry, yet can't recall where she puts her medicine each morning. Mr. David, 78, a once robust retired soldier, now relies on a cane to go outside because his balance has quietly faded faster than he could keep up. What ties them together isn't any one illness, but something more profound. Their bodies had been giving them early warnings for a long time, but no one truly paid attention. And maybe you're like them. You still wake up each morning, thankful for another day. You can still make coffee, open the window, and smile at the sunlight. But deep down, you also know you're not quite the same anymore. So how do you know? Are you simply slowing down, naturally and gently? Or are you beginning to slip into a decline that may not be reversible? The answer lies in 7 key signs, identified by leading experts in geriatrics and supported by scientific studies from around the world. These are signs you can observe and measure easily without complicated medical equipment, yet they offer a surprisingly accurate picture of your remaining lifespan and overall quality of life. In this video, we'll walk you through these signs, not with complicated medical jargon, but through real stories, real people, just like Gerald, Irene, David, and maybe even you. Because aging doesn't have to be a slow decline. It can be a chapter of greater clarity, independence, and meaning, if we learn to listen to the signals within our bodies and act on them today. So before we begin with the first sign, take a moment and ask yourself, do I want to live longer or live with purpose? If your answer is both, don't overlook one of the signs in the next few minutes. You deserve to spend your later years not just with more time, but with more strength, clarity, and life than ever before. Are you ready? Let's begin with the first sign: walking speed, a simple yet unexpectedly powerful measure. Sign number 1, your walking speed. Each step tells a story about your longevity. Gerald used to be a man full of energy. For over 40 years as a building inspector, he walked for hours daily across sun-drenched construction sites, striding confidently over beams, stairs, and uneven sidewalks. But since retiring, life has changed. He no longer had a reason to leave the house each morning like he used to. The once quick, sure steps had become slower and more cautious. One morning, Gerald stood by the window, looking out at the little street where he used to take his granddaughter for evening walks. He thought about stepping out to buy the newspaper, but hesitated. Each time he stepped down from the front porch, his knees felt heavier. He hadn't fallen, but there was a faint, unsettling feeling of losing balance. He paused, turned around, and went back inside. Maybe later, he thought. That evening, his granddaughter Ellie, now a nursing student, was in class when her professor mentioned a surprising health indicator. Walking speed in older adults can predict longevity. Startled, Ellie immediately thought of her grandfather. She called him that night and asked, "Grandpa, have you been walking much lately?" Gerald chuckled. "I'm retired now. My legs are on vacation too." But Ellie didn't laugh. She shared what she just learned, that seniors who walk at a pace of 0.8 meters per second or faster tend to live significantly longer than those who walk more slowly. "Speed isn't just about your legs," she said. "It's about your heart, lungs, muscles, even brain." Gerald sat quietly, not out of fear, but because the truth was so simple, he had overlooked it. He had never thought that something as ordinary as walking could be a daily health report, quietly telling the story of what was happening inside his body. Numerous studies have confirmed that walking speed is a reliable physiological marker for assessing overall health. One large-scale study published in JAMA followed over 34,000 older adults and found that for every increase of 0.1 meters per second in walking speed, the risk of death dropped by 12 to 20%. Why? Because walking speed reflects the function of many vital systems: cardiovascular, respiratory, central nervous, musculoskeletal, and even mental and emotional well-being. Ellie sent her grandfather a smartwatch to track his walking speed. "Try walking around the yard 3 laps every morning, Grandpa. Not for me, for you." Gerald hesitated but agreed. Initially, his speed was just 0.5 meters per second, below average for his age. But Ellie didn't push him. She celebrated every small win. "You're faster than yesterday, Grandpa." 2 months later, Gerald wasn't just walking in the mornings anymore. He started going to the neighborhood market, taking afternoon strolls in the park, and even joining a local Walk for Health group with other seniors in his neighborhood. He realized that each step wasn't just strengthening his legs, it was stretching the moments worth living. He laughed more, slept more soundly, and most importantly, he felt like he was still moving forward, even in his 70s. If you're over 70, ask yourself, are your steps steady today? Your walking speed may be whispering something you've never stopped to notice. Listen to it. Don't let each step be just about getting from one place to another. Let it be a path toward living longer, stronger, and with more meaning. And if today you find yourself walking a little slower, remember this: every journey begins with a single small step. Sign number 2. Grip strength. What a handshake can reveal about your lifespan. On a gentle spring afternoon in Colorado, 77-year-old Mr. Clarence carefully used pruning shears to trim the wilted rose branches in his garden. To him, this wasn't just a quiet hobby. It was an exercise for his hands, a daily ritual for what he's always believed to be a symbol of vitality: his grip. Every morning, Clarence starts his day with a habit not many his age still keep: a handshake. Not with another person, but with a 2-kilogram dumbbell sitting beside his bed. "Every time I shake hands with that weight," he laughs, "it's a little reminder I'm still strong today." You might not have thought about it before, but a simple handshake can reveal a surprising truth about your longevity. Science has shown that grip strength is one of the most reliable predictors of overall health and independent living after age 70. You might still be walking, talking, eating just fine. But if one day you notice you can't open a jar of jam, or your hand tires after holding a water jug for just 5 minutes, it's not just weaker muscles, it's a warning sign. Mr. Clarence's story starkly contrasts that of his close friend, Mr. Stanley, age 76, who lives just a few blocks away. Stanley was once a strong, capable man. He spent his life working with his hands as a carpenter. But in recent years, he started noticing a gradual loss of strength in his grip. At first, it was subtle. He couldn't swing his hammer as steadily as before. Then came the day he had to ask his granddaughter to open a water bottle for him. Soon after, he found his hands shaking when holding a full glass and feeling unsteady whenever he carried bags in both arms. He told himself, "I guess that's just aging." But that was a mistake. Grip strength isn't just about muscle. It reflects the health of an entire system: your circulation, nervous system, joints, and motor control. When grip strength declines, it often signals that other systems are quietly weakening too. In numerous medical studies published in leading journals like The Lancet and the BMJ, researchers tracked thousands of older adults for 10 to 15 years. The results were striking. Those with below-average grip strength had a 16% to 20% higher risk of early death. Low grip strength was also linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, and cognitive decline. On the other hand, seniors who maintained steady grip strength were far more likely to stay independent and in good health. So, if you can still offer a firm handshake, whether with a loved one or with your gardening shears, you may be holding on to something far more valuable than you realized: a quiet certificate of longevity. You don't need any fancy medical equipment. Try something simple. Shake someone's hand. Do they comment on how firm your grip is still? Open a jar, carry a grocery bag, wring out a wet towel. Do you feel pain, shakiness, or fatigue? Keep up with hand-strengthening activities like gardening, lifting light weights, wringing clothes, kneading dough, playing an instrument, or even something as simple as squeezing a rubber ball daily. Clarence isn't an athlete, but he trains his hands like it's his survival statement in old age. If today you can still pour water into a glass by yourself, open your pill bottle without asking your children for help, or hold your spouse's hand tightly each morning when you wake up, then you're holding something priceless. Hold on to it, work on it, treasure it. Because one day, when your hands are no longer strong enough to grasp what matters, you'll realize grip strength is not something to take lightly. Sign number 3, balance. Stay steady on your feet. Stay steady in life. Down a quiet path behind an old brick church in Vermont, every Monday morning, 74-year-old Mrs. Jeanette rides her electric bike to a Tai Chi class for seniors. Watching her glide through each movement, graceful as a crane in morning mist. You'd never guess that just 3 years ago, she nearly had to rely on a walker for the rest of her life because of a simple fall. A fall that happened when she stood up from her sofa and lost her balance. Sometimes, Jeanette says, you don't notice the small changes in your body until one day you lose your balance and then your independence. Here's something few people realize. Balance, as basic as standing on one foot, can predict your lifespan more accurately than blood pressure or heart rate. In a study published by the British Journal of Sports Medicine, researchers found that adults over 70 who couldn't stand on one foot for 10 seconds were twice as likely to die in the next 10 years. What does that mean? It means that a simple challenge, balancing on one leg, can reveal a great deal about your entire body's health. Your brain, nervous system, muscles, and reflexes work together in harmony. Or not. Mr. Carlton, age 76, lives just down the street from Mrs. Jeanette. He's a cheerful soul, loves gardening, and has a passion for fixing old clocks. But just a few months ago, everything changed. He slipped and fell while reaching for a box of nails on a high shelf in his shed. No one was around. He fractured his hip. And the scariest part, he doesn't even remember exactly how he lost his balance. All I know, he says, is that it happened so fast. After surgery and months of physical therapy, Carlton walks with a mobility frame. He's lost much of his confidence, and along with it, the feeling that he's still in control of his legs. Every step now feels like I'm tiptoeing through a minefield, he says with a bittersweet smile. A fall, something that might seem minor, can become a turning point for someone over 70. Not just a bruise or break, but a complete change in how life is lived. Balance isn't just about standing up straight. It's a complex symphony of body systems working in harmony. Your central nervous system must react quickly. Your inner ear, the vestibular system, must stay steady. Your core, back, and leg muscles must stay strong. Your vision and spatial awareness must remain sharp. If just one of these starts to decline, even slightly, the entire system can begin to falter. Add to that inactivity, multiple medications, or conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or Parkinson's disease, and the risk to your balance grows even more. Try this right now. Stand tall, lift one foot off the ground, and hold that position for 10 seconds. You might feel shaky. You might wobble. If you need to hold onto the wall, or if you can't stay balanced for more than 3 seconds, consider it an important message from your body. And here's the good news. Balance can be trained and improved at any age. Just like Mrs. Jeanette, you don't need an expensive gym. All it takes is small, steady steps each day. Practice standing on one foot while brushing your teeth or cooking. Walk in a straight line, heel to toe. Join a Tai Chi, yoga, or senior Pilates class. Strengthen your core and lower back with gentle exercises. And most importantly, don't let the fear of falling stop you from moving. Because it's the lack of movement that makes balance even more challenging to keep. How long can you still stand firm? It may sound like a simple question, but your answer is a powerful indicator of your future. If you can still hold steady, if you can still put on your pants or shoes without sitting down, if you can step through your doorway without needing to look down, then you are holding on to one of the strongest keys to a longer life. And if today you're not quite there yet, start with just one step, 1 foot, 10 seconds, every day. Sign number 4, sleep. The body's clock that predicts lifespan If there were such a thing as a longevity pill that required no prescription, cost nothing, and was available to everyone, it would be sleep. And yet, the irony is this: many people over 70 begin to treat sleep like a luxury they can no longer afford. They wake up in the middle of the night, toss and turn until morning, and slowly accept it as just part of getting old. But the truth is far different. Mr. Leonard, age 79, was once an aerospace engineer, a man who lived his life with the precision of a Swiss watch. But after retirement, he found himself sleeping less and more restlessly. At first, he thought it was normal. Then came the headaches, the mood swings, the memory lapses. One afternoon, he nearly caused an accident. He forgot to press the brake in the parking lot. That moment woke him up. From a foggy existence, he hadn't even noticed he was living. He went to see his doctor, and the diagnosis surprised him. His chronic insomnia was causing mild brain inflammation, weakened immune function, and even cardiovascular stress. Sleep deprivation wasn't just making him tired, it was quietly shortening his life. In a study from the U.S. National Institute on Aging, researchers discovered that during deep sleep, the central nervous system works like a drainage system, flushing out toxic proteins that build up in the brain. Many of these proteins are directly linked to Alzheimer's disease. As we age, if we sleep poorly, often wake at night, or fail to reach deep sleep, that natural cleansing system slows down, and those toxins begin to accumulate year after year. In other words, sleep isn't just rest, it's repair, it's renewal, it's your body's built-in defense against disease. Mrs. Elsie, 73, used to have a nightly habit of watching the news late into the evening. But after turning off the TV, she would lie awake for hours, her mind replaying negative images over and over. During the day, she felt sluggish, lost her appetite, and felt disconnected in her home. Eventually, her doctor diagnosed her with mild depression, and the root cause wasn't what she expected. It stemmed from chronic sleep disruption. Poor sleep throws off the body's delicate hormonal balance. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises, while serotonin, the mood-lifting hormone, drops. The result? A downward spiral in mental and emotional well-being that's hard to trace, but very real. In this way, just one stormy sleep can rob you of your clarity, joy, and immune strength for days or weeks afterward. Ask yourself, do you often wake up in the middle of the night and struggle to fall back asleep? Do you feel tired even after lying in bed for 7 to 8 hours? Are you taking long naps during the day but still feel drained? If the answer is yes, your body is speaking to you. According to the Sleep Foundation, older adults should aim for 6.5 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Not just more sleep, but deep, unbroken, and well-timed sleep. That's what truly matters. Because in later life, rest isn't about doing nothing. It's about letting your body heal, recharge, and prepare for one more good day. Many people believe that a cup of herbal tea before bed is all it takes for a good night's sleep. But the truth is, your nighttime sleep depends heavily on your daytime habits. Getting natural sunlight between 7 and 9 a.m. helps reset your internal clock. Staying physically active during the day naturally boosts melatonin production at night. Avoiding long naps keeps your sleep cycle in sync. Cutting back on caffeine and heavy meals after 6 p.m. prevents nighttime restlessness. Creating a gentle bedtime routine, reading a book, listening to soft music, or writing a gratitude journal sends a clear signal to your brain. It's time to unwind. After changing her daily routine, Mrs. Elsie began going to bed earlier. She stopped watching negative news at night, used soft amber lighting, and practiced deep breathing before sleep. 6 weeks later, she shared, "I feel like I've grown younger, not in looks, but in how alive my mind feels." For the young, sleep may be a habit, but for older people, sleep is a key to living longer, staying healthier, and waking up to days that still feel full of life. Sign number 5. Eating habits. A quiet signal of your health. If there's a symphony that best reflects your health, your stomach is the conductor. Even the most minor changes, less appetite, slower chewing, or feeling uninterested in food, are your body's way of saying, "I'm starting to weaken." And yet, most older adults tend to dismiss it. They think eating less is just part of aging, that a fading sense of taste is simply natural. But in reality, your eating habits are one of the strongest indicators of how long and well you may live. At 78, Mr. Matthew was once a gifted chef, cooking for an entire small-town community in California. But after his wife passed, everything changed. He started skipping meals. Some days, all he had was a glass of milk and a few crackers, telling himself, "That's enough." At first, he blamed grief, then the silence of eating alone. But a few months later, the signs became clear. He was losing weight rapidly. His hands trembled more, his memory faltered, and he didn't have the strength to keep his home clean anymore. A medical checkup revealed the truth. He was severely protein deficient, slightly anemic, and had such low energy levels that his risk of falling had tripled. It turns out that quiet loss of appetite was a loud warning bell for his whole body health. One of the most harmful misconceptions about aging is, the older you get, the less you need to eat. But science tells a different story. According to Harvard Health Publishing, older adults still need nearly the exact amounts of protein, vitamins, and minerals as younger people, unless they want to risk muscle loss, weakened heart function, reduced immunity, and declining cognition. So why do many seniors eat less? It's not because the body needs less, but because many factors quietly chip away at appetite. Dry mouth from medications, diminished taste due to zinc deficiency, loneliness when eating alone, difficulty cooking because of weak hands or poor vision, slow digestion that leaves them feeling full all day, and even undetected depression that steals the desire to eat. Take Mrs. Norma, 76, living alone in Arizona after her son moved away. One day, a volunteer meal delivery worker stopped by and was shocked to find her fridge nearly empty. "It's no fun eating by yourself," Norma said. "After a while, you don't feel like cooking." Later, she was enrolled in a free community lunch program at a local senior center, where she began eating meals with people her age. Everything changed. She smiled, ate, and even asked the chef for his lentil soup recipe. Because eating isn't just about staying alive. It's about still feeling like you belong in life. Keep an eye out for yourself or someone you love. Signs like unexplained weight loss over 3 to 6 months, clothes becoming loose, fatigue or lightheadedness when standing up, no longer enjoying favorite foods, trouble chewing, dry mouth, aversion to hot or cold meals. Each of these could be a warning bell, pointing to nutritional deficiencies, dehydration, or even the early signs of a more serious condition. You don't need to eat like an athlete, but you do need to eat with intention. Increase protein at every meal, with foods like eggs, salmon, lentils, or Greek yogurt. Break up your meals, 5 small instead of 2 or 3 large ones. Use healthy herbs and spices to awaken your taste buds, like ginger, cinnamon, or fresh basil. Stay hydrated and include moisture-rich foods like soups and juicy fruits. And most importantly, make meals joyful, eat with others, play soft music, try one new recipe each week. Mr. Matthew started keeping a food journal, not to count calories, but to notice how he felt after each meal. He began to see something clearly. After a bowl of warm soup, a glass of milk, or simply a good conversation over lunch, his spirit lifted, his energy returned. Because no healthy body can thrive when it's quietly starving. What about you? How are your meals? Not just feeding your body, but feeding your life. Sign number 6, the ability to manage stress, a hidden indicator of longevity. There's something strange about stress. It has no shape, no smell, no taste. Yet, if left unmanaged, it can wear down your health faster than cigarettes or fast food ever could. At 74, Mr. Lionel seemed calm on the outside. Neighbors saw him mowing the lawn on schedule, reading the morning paper, and smiling politely. But behind his front door lived a mind constantly wound tight. He had been an accountant, where precision meant everything. And even 5 years into retirement, he still couldn't stop trying to control it all. A late bill, a crooked picture frame, even a neighbor's barking dog was enough to cost him a whole night's sleep. Mr. Lionel didn't smoke. He ate well. He exercised regularly. But his latest checkup left his doctor concerned. High blood pressure, a racing heartbeat. Stress hormone levels, cortisol, are consistently above the safe range. You're pushing yourself to the edge, the doctor said. Not because of your age, but because you don't know how to let go. Stress won't take your life all at once, but it will take it, bit by bit. According to the American Heart Association, chronic stress increases the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, insomnia, weakened immunity, depression and anxiety, cognitive decline and inflammation, the root of rapid aging. In other words, if you don't know how to release stress, you may quietly shorten your lifespan. In contrast to Mr. Lionel, Mrs. Janice, 76, used to have a fiery temper. But when she suddenly lost her husband, she was forced to confront the silent storms within her mind. She turned to yoga and meditation. At first, she laughed at the idea of sitting still and breathing like a statue. But after just a few weeks, she began to sleep better. 3 months in, her blood pressure had stabilized, and most importantly, she felt lighter. She was less angry at herself, less reactive toward others. Life will always send waves, she said. But I'm no longer a small boat being tossed around. Seniors can't avoid stress. They face the loss of a spouse or close friends, financial concerns after retirement, chronic illness, loneliness, and a fading sense of purpose. But it's not the stress itself that determines their future. It's how they respond to it. Between someone who says, "I accept and adapt," and someone who says, "I can't take this anymore," lies the difference between a life that is long and healthy and a life that feels drained and broken. Take a moment to listen to your body truly. Do you wake in the night, especially around 2 or 3 a.m., and struggle to fall back asleep? Do small things easily irritate you? Do you often worry about things that haven't even happened yet? Do you feel tension in your shoulders and neck or frequent headaches? Is your breathing shallow and uneven? Do you find it hard to relax when you're alone? These are not just fleeting emotions. They are signs that your body is under threat. Learn to breathe properly. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold. Exhale for 6 seconds. Just 3 minutes each morning can begin to shift your nervous system. Write down your worries. Keep an anxiety journal. If something bothers you, don't hold it in your head. Please put it on paper. Make space each day for small joys. Sketch a little. Play old music. Tend to a plant. Call an old friend. Avoid negative news and the kind of social media that fuels comparison or anxiety. And most of all, learn to say no to things that stretch beyond your energy. You no longer need to please everyone. After experiencing a panic attack, Mr. Lionel began attending a local class called The Art of Slowing Down. He was skeptical at first, but now he's learned to clear his mind the way he clears a dining table. Let go of what feels heavy. Make room for peace. His health has gradually improved, and for him, that's been the most meaningful victory of all, the victory over himself. Sign number 7, social connection, the lifeline that extends longevity. Do you still have someone to call and share an ordinary day with? It sounds like a simple question, but it may be one of the most powerful predictors of life expectancy after age 70. Not blood pressure, not cholesterol, but connection, the human-to-human kind. Mr. Russell, 79, lives alone in a small house on the edge of town. He was once a busy construction engineer, traveling, working with teams, and talking to people every day. But after his wife passed and his son moved away, his home slowly turned into silence. Day after day, he ate alone, sipped his morning coffee alone, and watched TV to fill the space. But no show could replace the warmth of a fundamental question. How are you today? Each time he picked up the phone, he put it back down, afraid of bothering someone, afraid of becoming a burden. Then, one cold October morning, he slipped and fell in the bathroom. No one knew. He lay there for nearly half a day until the mail carrier noticed a pile of untouched newspapers and called the police. At the hospital, the doctor told him, "Your health isn't just weakened by fragile bones, it's weakened by loneliness." According to research from Harvard and Stanford University, social isolation after age 70 dramatically increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and early death, at levels equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Relationships aren't just emotional comfort, they are mental and emotional nutrition. In contrast to Mr. Russell is Mrs. Doris, 81. Though she's lived alone since her husband passed, she's never let her spirit fall into a state of no one to talk to. She attends a seniors dance class every week, regularly calls old friends to check in, and writes handwritten letters to her granddaughter across the country. "Every letter I write is like a hug," she smiles. "I'm not lonely, because I always hold someone in my heart, and I always leave space in my heart for someone to walk in." She doesn't use social media. She's not tech-savvy, but she's brilliant at keeping real connections alive. Many older adults believe that once they're past 70, they no longer hold value in society. But the truth is that your community needs you, more than ever. The stories you carry are living history. The wisdom you've gained can help younger people find direction. Your presence at a gathering, in a phone call, or in an embrace can be the anchor someone else needs. And in return, staying connected gives you a reason to wake up stronger each day. So, ask yourself, have you had a 30-minute conversation with a loved one in the past week? Have you invited someone over or gone out with a friend? Is there someone who's waiting for your call, but you've put it off? If not, don't wait. Loneliness doesn't announce its arrival. And the older we get, the harder it becomes to form new bonds. But here's the good news. You can start again, today. Write a letter or a short email to your children or grandchildren now and then. Just a few lines to say hello and ask how they're doing. That's enough. Join a community group, a gentle yoga class, a book club, or a choir. You'll find others just like you. Call that old friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Volunteer at your church, the library, or the local senior center. Invite your neighbor over for tea, a game of cards, or to share a warm dinner. When Mrs. Doris turned 80, over 30 people came to her home. Grandchildren, neighbors, and friends from her dance class. They gave her a shirt embroidered with the words, "The heart of the neighborhood." She pressed her hand to her chest and said with emotion, "I know I'm not growing old in silence." You don't need a crowd, but you need one or two people you can call on a cold, rainy day. Someone to text, sleep well, someone to share the little things. And sometimes, that's all it takes to make life last longer. Closing reflection, a stronger journey. Through 7 signs, growing old is not a farewell to life. It is a turning point, a chapter where every breath becomes more precious, and every new day is a chance to continue writing your story. Together, we've explored 7 signs. Gentle signals from your body, quiet reminders to listen more deeply, care more intentionally, and love yourself better. Your walking pace might be quietly telling you something about your strength. A handshake isn't just a greeting, it reflects the life still moving through you. The ability to balance on one foot may seem simple, but it speaks volumes. Sleep, that miraculous medicine, is reshaping the quality of your days. Though often overlooked, how you eat is the foundation of your body's resilience and your mind's clarity. How you handle stress is how you speak back to life itself. Above all, your social connections, those warm embraces and meaningful conversations, are the ties that hold joy in place and extend your years. You see, a long life isn't just luck, it's a daily choice, and a life that's long and meaningful, that's a journey built with awareness, love, and action. So today, take a small step, then take another tomorrow, and let each step be part of a life still moving forward, still vibrant, still full, and still truly yours. If you've made it to these final words, chances are you've already begun to look inward. And perhaps you feel a gentle urge to start taking better care of yourself. That feeling doesn't come from a fear of death. It comes from a deep love for life. So don't let these 7 signs pass by like a soft breeze. Take action. Walk more slowly, but walk with intention. Smile more, connect more, rest more. Eat well, and speak to yourself with kindness more often. Growing older doesn't have to mean growing lonelier. It can be the most profound, meaningful, and authentic time of your life. And if this video touched your heart, if you want to keep walking beside stories that bring hope, wisdom, and inspiration for life after 70, click subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We'll be right here, every week, walking with you through this next chapter of life, filled with freedom, clarity, and compassion. Because there is still so much beauty waiting for you in the days ahead.